Never found any other place I'd rather be than where I am. I love this place. Well, I don't know very many people this day and age that have spent their whole life and career doing exactly what they wanted to do, but I have. I've been basically working with somebody or for myself. That's a pretty good way to spend your life, at least it has been for me.
Dr. Harrell Hal Phillips was born on February 4th, 1960 in Gainesville, Florida, to Harrell and Donna Phillips. Raised on the Marion-Levy County line, he's been involved in agriculture his whole life.
Well, my dad was in the livestock hauling business. And then, of course, we grew up, we had a ranching operation, a feedlot, cattle trucking business, cattle hauling business my whole life. So it was just who we were. I didn't know anything different and fell in love with it. My lifetime goal since I was 9 years old, according to the 4-H forms we filled out, was I wanted to be a veterinarian. My father wanted me to do something else. I mean, his lifetime goal for me was to be a lawyer, because he knew how hard agriculture was. But he had a passion for all of us to go to college, which we were successful in achieving, even though he passed away while I was in vet school. You know, when your provider and your rock is no longer there, you just have to shift gears. And because of our activity in 4-H and FFA, my brother and I had built a sizable herd for 2 high school boys. We had almost 200 cows by the time we graduated high school. But then we utilized those 200 cows as our scholarship fund. And by the time I graduated, we had 40 cows left of our 200s, all we had left of our herds, because we spent the rest of them to pay college tuition. So that's where we started when I got back out of college with 40 head. The biggest thing both of my parents instilled in us is, do 2 things. If you start a project, you finish it. And my dad always said, if a job's worth doing, it's worth doing right. And if you finish a job and you do it right, it doesn't matter what you wind up doing in life, you're going to be successful.
Hal would successfully complete his education at the University of Florida, earning his doctorate of veterinary medicine. However, it was shortly before graduation that he would meet the love of his life.
I wanted to start my own veterinary diagnostic laboratory for equine veterinarians. It just so happened to be that one of the veterinarians that helped me to do that, Dr. Bloomer, told me, he said, you need to meet Hal Phillips. So I said, okay. And kind of first sight, we both agreed that was a good deal. And then he graduated in May of '87, and we dated for 2 years, and we were married in September of 1989. It's worked out 35 years later, here we are.
Well, first of all, she's my best friend, and she's my soulmate. And we've had our ups and downs like any relationship does, but I wouldn't have been able to do all the things that I've been able to do without her.
Together, Hal and Debbie would not only establish a successful veterinary practice, but through hard work and dedication, create a brand that represents high quality at the Phillips Ranch.
Everything he sets his mind to do, he does it well, but it's because he's working as though he's working for the Lord, and we work together. I'm a behind-the-scenes kind of person in the business, but a lot of times before we had children, I was out there working with him alongside, making veterinary calls and also helping him at the ranch.
Took my knowledge that I'd gained at the university in animal science and in veterinary school and tried to make wise decisions on breeding, and built quality. And we've been raising our own replacement heifers for almost 45 years. But it's still a learning curve. You have to constantly cull, and plus the market's changed over that 40 years, and so you've had to adjust. But it's been a really good opportunity to utilize my education and do what I love to do, and been relatively successful at it.
I think the thing that I admire about him is the work that he's done on his personal ranch, and the amount of individual time that he's done, and the amount of just things he's done right by himself without any help whatsoever. He's always been a risk taker, but he had a goal in mind, and he didn't just go about it without a plan. He had a plan to be a vet. He had a plan to be a vet so he could build a herd, and he wanted to raise cattle, and that took a lot of time, money, making money, losing money, I'm sure. But I think over the last 40, 45 years, he's proven that his plan worked.
He generally thinks things out before he makes decisions on stuff, and is a good cattle person, good cattle person, and he's good for our industry. Means what he says what he means, and stands behind himself. And everything that he says and does, he'll stand behind it. I enjoy a person that will be completely honest, even if it does bite you in the butt sometime. I think it's well-deserved because of what he's done and what he is and what he brings to the table for this industry and for this county.
Yeah, over the long haul, I think Hal's as successful a farmer as we have in Marion County and for sure in Florida. But it's not easy. He's had some tough years. He's had some good years. And he's a great farmer, great industry leader, and a community family guy. He's helped so much with Ocala Bull Sale over the years, and he's helped other farmers like me when you have challenges and struggles and issues. He's kind of a go-to guy. And I think he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. He's helped a lot of people. Hal can be kind of tough. He's got an opinion. He's strong-willed, but there's a softer side of Hal, and he's always, there to support people and lend them a helping hand.
It's this selfless nature that has allowed Hal to serve his community and leave his mark in Marion County.
When I was growing up, I remember the people that gave their time to me. So when somebody asked me for something, I always remembered somebody that did the same thing for me. That's the circle of life. Somebody does it with you or for you, and then you have an opportunity to do it with you or for someone else. And that's just who I am.
He's a great ambassador for the beef brand. And he's a guy who is very dedicated to his children and his wife and the family, and Hal absolutely loves the youth fair and has done a lot for the youth fair as far as buying steers, being the veterinarian. He's been the veterinarian of the Cattlemen's Board for as long as I can remember. And, he's just a guy who's constantly promoting the beef brand and throughout his life.
Hal hustled and scuffled to hold his family farming and ranching business together. And he's a good cow man. When he was full-time practicing, he was recognized as being a very good veterinarian. Hal's driven and very passionate about the cattle industry, and Hal believes in serving the community and getting engaged in the business in which he makes his living.
Hal has definitely been involved in his industry and community, serving in many agriculture-related organizations, such as the Marion County Cattlemen's Association, the Southeastern Youth Fair, the National Cattlemen's Beef Association, and the American Veterinary Medical Association, just to name a few. He's also been recognized for his impact to the agriculture industry and received many awards, such as Outstanding Rancher and Leader Award, NCBA Leadership Award, and multiple producer awards of show steers for the Southeastern Youth Fair, Florida State Fair, and many other county fairs. Hal's passion for the land and his work have been inspiring examples for the next generation.
I think part of it is the way we were raised. We became so passionate about this industry. When we were in school, we were working on the ranch, but to us, it didn't feel like work. We got to spend time with Dad and spend time with the cattle. And some of my fondest memories are just really simple things, like working in the cow pens or penning some cattle, and he's there. He brought the chute, and we're gonna work those cattle. And he never pushed that onto us. He wanted us to do whatever we wanted to wake up at 6 a.m. every morning and go do. He told us that over and over again. But it just so happens that we both want to stay in the beef industry and be veterinarians. I hope Dad knows I'm proud of him, and I know he's proud of me, and that's something that he's always told me, and he's always supported me, and he has my back. If I ever needed anything, I could call him and he'd come to me, even if I'm in Oklahoma or anywhere else, he'd be there. And he's the type of man and father that I want to be one day.
One thing I've always looked up to in my father is his work ethic. We know that agriculture and ranching is not always an easy business, but he's always been willing to get up day in and day out and take care of the land, take care of the cattle, and take care of his family. And I just think that's a testament and an example to me now that I'm a husband and going to be involved in this industry too, of how important it is to take care of the resources the Lord's given us and be willing to put others before yourself and just do what needs to be done.
I think for me, becoming part of the Phillips family, it's been just a huge blessing of just their genuine love for each other and their genuine passion for everything they put their hands to. And the side that people don't get to see Mr. Howell often is that, yes, he puts on this really just resilient front, but on the underside, he's just a really big teddy bear who loves to laugh and make fun jokes and stuff. So really does bring a lot of laughter to the family.
It really just makes me proud that I was given the opportunity to follow in the footsteps that he paved for our family in agriculture, in veterinary medicine, in being a husband, in one day being a father. All of the things that he always did for us, to see them recognized like this just makes me very grateful that I had that kind of a role model in my life, and makes me hope that I can take advantage of the time that I have just like he did, and hopefully impact people like he's done.
Well, as a father, I think there's no greater honor than your sons to want to be like you. And the fact that they've endured all the hardships we've been through, and they've seen the bad times, but they still want to do what we do. So that's encouraging. That means that we handled the tough times well, that they saw that even with your faith, you can overcome the tough times, and then they're willing to accept this lifestyle because they're both following in my footsteps.
I can certainly say that I'm happy for him and delighted that, because he deserves it, because it is a tremendous acknowledgement of the hard work that he's put in all these years, and he has worked hard, and he has been faithful, and he has done what the Lord has called him to do. So I feel special to be arm in arm with him as we do life together.
Well, I've been blessed to receive a lot of accomplishments in my lifetime. I think this is the most prestigious accomplishment that I've ever received, and the reason is because it's not because of what I necessarily have done. It's because what people think of me and what I've done, and that's very humbling and very honoring.
Congratulations to 2024 Marion County Agriculture Hall of Fame inductee, Hal Phillips.